What if there was a hidden spiritual tradition, lost to history, that contained wisdom capable of transforming our understanding of life, consciousness, and the universe? Imagine this: a group of ancient mystics, living in the deserts of Judea, who practiced a deep and profound form of spirituality that was not only about religion, but about the very essence of existence. These were the Essenes, a sect of Jewish mystics whose teachings have been shrouded in mystery for centuries. Though little is known about them, the Essenes were likely the guardians of a profound, hidden knowledge, teachings that were never meant for the masses, but were passed down in secrecy through their isolated communities. The Dead Sea Scrolls, one of the most important archaeological finds of the 20th century, have provided us with a glimpse into their world. But what exactly did these teachings contain? Were they the true keepers of ancient wisdom, and what lessons can we learn from their way of life today? In this video, we will explore the lost teachings of the Essenes, a group whose understanding of spirituality, healing, and personal transformation may hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. From their connection to the natural world to their radical approach to community and healing, the Essenes offer a path that was designed not just for their time, but for all of humanity. Join us as we dive deep into the ancient wisdom of the Essenes, discovering what they knew and why their teachings have remained hidden for so long. The Essenes were a Jewish sect that existed during the Second Temple period of ancient Israel, roughly from the 2nd century BCE to the 1st century CE. They lived in isolated communities, most notably near the Dead Sea in what is now modern-day Israel and Jordan. Their way of life was radically different from that of the Pharisees and Sadducees, the other two dominant Jewish sects of the time. The Essenes were known for their strict adherence to spiritual and moral codes, and they believed in the importance of purity, both physically and spiritually. The Essenes are most famous today for their connection to the Dead Sea Scrolls, a vast collection of ancient manuscripts that were discovered in the 1940s and 1950s. These texts include books from the Hebrew Bible, as well as additional writings that were believed to have been written by the Essenes themselves. Among these writings, we find spiritual teachings, prayers, and apocalyptic visions that reveal a rich spiritual tradition focused on the purification of the soul, the study of the divine, and the imminent arrival of a messianic figure. Philosophically, the Essenes were deeply influenced by a variety of traditions. They were likely familiar with Jewish mysticism and teachings from the Hebrew Bible, especially the Kabbalistic ideas of divine emanations, and the idea of living in harmony with the divine order of creation. However, they also had influences from Zoroastrianism, which was practiced by their Persian neighbors, and from Hellenistic philosophy, which had spread throughout the Mediterranean during the time of Alexander the Great. The Essenes believed that the world was in a state of corruption and needed to be purified. They saw themselves as a small, chosen group that would survive the coming apocalypse, which they believed was imminent. In many ways, their teachings and lifestyle were a preparation for the end of times. Their communal way of life, their strict dietary rules, their ritualistic cleansing, and their meditative practices were all designed to align the body, mind, and soul with the divine, preparing them for the spiritual and physical trials they believed would come. But what made the Essenes unique was their belief in the importance of inner transformation. Unlike other groups of the time, the Essenes were not just concerned with outward religious observance. They believed that the true path to salvation was through a deep, personal connection with the divine, which could only be achieved by purifying the self on all levels. Their teachings focused on the cultivation of wisdom, compassion, and spiritual awareness, encouraging followers to transcend the material world and to live in harmony with the divine will. The teachings of the Essenes were centered around several key principles, each of which holds profound implications for personal and spiritual development. Let us take a closer look at these core principles and how they might apply to our lives today. 1. The pursuit of purity. The Essenes believed that spiritual purity was the key to achieving a deep connection with the divine. They followed a strict regimen of physical purification, which included ritual baths, dietary restrictions, and a lifestyle of abstinence from worldly pleasures. This focus on purity wasn't just about external cleanliness, however. The Essenes understood that true purification came from within, that one's thoughts, emotions, and actions needed to be in harmony with divine principles. In many ways, the Essenes' concept of purity mirrors modern spiritual practices like meditation, fasting, and mindfulness, all of which are designed to clear the mind and body of distractions and impurities. For the Essenes, purification was a constant process of inner refinement, transforming the soul by letting go of attachment to material desires and ego-driven impulses. This discipline of purification can be seen as a path to spiritual enlightenment, where the goal is to align with higher principles and transcend the limitations of the physical world. 2. Community and brotherhood. Unlike other groups of the time, who were focused on individual piety or political power, the Essenes emphasized the importance of community. They lived in tightly knit communities where all possessions were shared, and the goal was to live in harmony with one another and with the natural world. Their communal lifestyle was seen as a way to purify the soul by removing the distractions and temptations of the material world. The Essenes' approach to community is a powerful lesson for us today. In a world increasingly divided by individualism, consumerism, and isolation, the Essenes remind us of the importance of cooperation, solidarity, and shared values. They understood that spiritual growth is not a solitary pursuit, but is deeply connected to our relationships with others. By living in harmony with those around us, we elevate ourselves and create a space for collective healing and growth. 3. Meditation and contemplation. The Essenes placed a high value on meditation and contemplation, believing that spiritual insight came not just from intellectual study, but from direct experience of the divine. Their daily practices involved quiet reflection, prayer, and a focus on inner silence, allowing them to attune themselves to the subtle rhythms of the universe and the voice of the divine within. This emphasis on meditation is something that resonates with many modern spiritual practices, including yoga and mindfulness meditation. By cultivating stillness and awareness, the Essenes believed one could access a higher level of consciousness, a state of unity with the divine. Their teachings remind us that true knowledge comes not just from books or external sources, but from our own inner experience and direct communion with the divine. 4. The imminent arrival of the Messiah. The Essenes believed that the world was on the brink of an apocalyptic transformation. They were waiting for the arrival of a messianic figure who would usher in a new era of peace and divine justice. This expectation was rooted in the prophecies of the Hebrew Bible and other apocalyptic writings. For the Essenes, the coming of the Messiah was not just a future event, it was a living hope that motivated their way of life. While the exact nature of the Messiah's arrival remains a mystery, the Essenes' focus on the coming age speaks to a deeper spiritual principle, the idea that there is always a higher purpose unfolding in the universe, and that we are called to live in preparation for it. Whether through personal transformation, collective action, or spiritual discipline, the Essenes' teachings encourage us to live in a state of readiness, constantly aligning ourselves with the divine and preparing for the arrival of a higher state of being. As we continue to uncover the deeper layers of the Essenes' teachings, we begin to see how their wisdom can offer transformative lessons for our lives today. Here are some additional key principles that reflect the depth and richness of their spiritual worldview. The Essenes were avid students of sacred texts, and they believed that true knowledge could only be attained through deep study and meditation on divine teachings. Their scriptures, including parts of the Dead Sea Scrolls, contain not only religious doctrines, but also insights into the nature of the universe, the soul, and the divine order. Their understanding of sacred knowledge wasn't just intellectual, it was experiential. The Essenes believed that the study of sacred texts should lead to inner transformation. By contemplating these teachings, they believed one could deepen their connection to the divine and develop a more profound understanding of the mysteries of the universe. In many ways, the Essenes' approach to sacred knowledge reflects the modern spiritual path of seeking wisdom through study and personal experience. Whether through sacred texts, philosophical inquiry, or intuitive insight, the Essenes remind us that true knowledge is not just information, it is a living, transformative experience that can guide us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. The Essenes also had a strong focus on healing, both physical and spiritual. They practiced natural medicine, utilizing herbs and other natural remedies to heal the body. But their approach to healing went beyond physical health. They saw healing as a holistic process, one that involved not just the body, but the mind and spirit as well. Their methods of healing, including fasting, diet, and herbal remedies, are echoed in modern natural and alternative medicine. The Essenes understood that true healing requires a balance between the body, mind, and spirit. They believed that illness was often a reflection of spiritual or emotional imbalances, and they worked to address these imbalances through spiritual practices, purification, and a return to harmony with nature. The legacy of the Essenes is one that continues to inspire spiritual seekers today. Their teachings on purity, community, meditation, and healing offer a timeless blueprint for spiritual growth. The Essenes were not just a sect of ancient Jews, they were the bearers of a profound wisdom that has the potential to transform our lives, just as it did for them. Their message is one of personal transformation, collective harmony, and spiritual awakening. In our fast-paced, materialistic world, the Essenes' teachings offer a path back to simplicity, purity, and connection with the divine. The teachings of the Essenes are not just historical relics, they are practical and relevant to our lives today. Here's how we can apply their wisdom to our own spiritual journeys. 1. Purify your mind and body. Take time to cleanse yourself both physically and spiritually. This could involve a detox, fasting, or simply being mindful of what you consume, whether it's food, media, or thoughts. Make space for spiritual growth by clearing away distractions. 2. Live in community. In our individualistic society, the Essenes remind us of the power of community. Find like-minded individuals who share your values, and work together to support one another's growth. Whether through small groups, meditation circles, or spiritual communities, live in a way that fosters connection and mutual support. 3. Meditate and reflect. Set aside time each day to meditate, contemplate, and connect with your inner self. Like the Essenes, create a space of quiet reflection where you can tune into your intuition and connect with the divine. 4. Cultivate sacred knowledge. Study sacred texts, whether from ancient traditions or modern teachings. But remember, the goal is not just to acquire information, it's to allow these teachings to transform you. Let the knowledge deepen your understanding of the universe and your place within it. 5. Practice holistic healing. Take a holistic approach to your health. Pay attention to your body, mind, and spirit. Incorporate practices like yoga, breath work, or natural remedies into your daily life to nurture your well-being. The Essenes left behind a legacy of profound wisdom that continues to inspire us today. Their teachings on purity, community, inner transformation, and healing provide a timeless framework for spiritual growth and personal development. By studying their lives and practices, we can discover a path that leads us to greater harmony with ourselves, others, and the divine. Their teachings remind us that true wisdom is not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about living in alignment with higher principles and striving for constant personal transformation. The Essenes' wisdom is a treasure that can guide us through the challenges of modern life and help us create a more balanced, harmonious existence. What do you think about the teachings of the Essenes? Have you found any of their principles helpful in your own life? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to share this video with those who are ready to dive deeper into the lost teachings of the Essenes.